Welcome to class today. Today I'll be teaching you all on basic design principles, and we'll be going through typography. Typography is one of the major aspects of designs, and learning how to use typography and how to create an hierarchy with typography would also help you to better your design skills and also help you to grow faster. And one thing you need to understand again is knowing what kind of font type to use and knowing the different weights and different kernels to use for your font type or for your typography always makes your creative better, and it helps you to stand out as a better graphic designer. So I'll be taking us through some basic um, typographies and some basic ways to use typography. So now this is the type tool. When you click on the type tool, you come here and then you could probably type a text. Lovely. So we could change the color of our typography of our typeface from the character tab here. We could change the color to black. So now you see we have love. Let me change this to love my job. Now you need to understand that there are different ways that you can design, and then there are different ways that you can use typography. I can use typography. I can write this love my job in all caps lock, and if I don't want it in all caps lock, I can alt and duplicate and take off caps lock for my typography. I think here I had caps lock here also, so I can change it to love my job. This is what we can do here, and I need to change the font weight. This is where we have the weight of the font. This is the font type, the different font types that we could use. This is where we change the weights. You either want to use a bold or a regular font type or a regular italic or a light font type. It all depends on what we want to do, and most times your typography and learning how to distill your texts and your font types and learning how to distill them also helps you to arrange your designs well and better, and this would help you to also create effective designs. Every time you need to always learn how to tell a story with your canvas. Every time you need to be able to tell your consumers, you need to lead them through what you need them to see. First and foremost, this is what I want you to see, and you need to understand your location and your surrounding. If you are from the countries that most people are right-handed and they read from the left, you need to be able to understand that your consumers read from the left. And if you are in countries where Arabic countries, Arab Emirates and countries like that, you know that typographies or their text or whatever they write is always from the right. So you need to learn that your consumers will also be reading most times from the right. So you need to be able to attack that in different variations also. Now you need to understand text alignment, you need to understand text placement, you need to understand the spacing in between your text, which we call kerning most times. And then you also need to understand your font weight. You need to understand if you want to use caps for all. You need to understand if you want bold font types. You need to understand if you want a very thin or light font weight. You need to understand all these things and know whether you want to use a subscript or a superscript. Those are part of the things that you need to understand about typography. I would go through different ways at which I could write love my job with different font types and with different font weights, so that you can probably understand what typography and the essence of typography is. Now, when you are trying to do something with typography, always understand what alignment is, that you always have to align your text. Also, you always have to align your text and your font types. You need to align them. You need to know what is your head copy and what is your body copy. Okay, now let's imagine we have this love my job, and then as okay, let's imagine writing this with typography and trying to make a design with typography. Then I can just say love. So most times I always make sure that when I'm writing, I write in a way that people would be able to read it. So you could see a sample, like I say love my job. Do you understand? In a way that is easy for people to distill and read. So I have this love my job. One other thing I need you to always remember is always create a guide. Always work with guides. Don't ever design without having guides. And for you to get a guide, you can just go to window, just go to view, go to guides, new guide layouts. You can check from my guide layout here. You can see my settings here, but basically this is 2000 by 2000 pixels, so I'll probably be using 100 pixel for my guides all through left, right, and bottom, and then the top. Now you could see this now. So I think my text to the far to the far left, because most Nigerians or most Africans always read from the right. I mean, yeah, read from the left. So now, because I want to make a big statement, I cannot just leave light font weight or something. So I need to make this font weight much more bolder, so I can go for this black font type. But I'm not really enjoying this, so I need to make the what I'm saying, I need it to be stronger. I need most times design is everything about life, and it also deals with our emotions. So how you communicate also with design also helps you to tell specific feelings and specific emotions of people. So I want all caps, because I need whatever I'm saying to speak loud and to be loud to the ears of everybody. So I have a situation where I have this love my job here. Now what I'm going to do is, if you don't have your transform tool checked, you need to show transform tool controls here. It helps you to be able to scale your whatever you're working with, either text or shapes. So this is one thing about typography. Now we have a plain canvas where we have just a lot of negative space. So do I really want to align my text or my typography to the left, or do I want it to be something of core focus or main focus for everybody to be able to see what I'm talking about? And I think I want it to be main focus. So I align everything I work on, I put it in the center. I'm trying as much as possible to make the course as very easy as possible for even as the littlest of beginners, because I know that not all of us understand this software, Adobe Photoshop. Not all of us have probably used it, and I know that there are a lot of us that are also beginning and are also starting to learn. And by the time we proceed further in the course, I would fasten up things, I would hasten up things, and you will be able to grab easily. So you see, very simple. I just said I love my job, and I could just put a small underline here, trying to create like a contrast from what I was working on. So simple. And if I press Control H, you could see already This is just typography, me just saying I love my job. Now me trying to be more creative with this, I could want to be more creative with this and say, okay, I want to play with my typography better and try to improve on it and put some new feeling to it. I could come to this love and I could reduce the pennings, the space in between. I could reduce them or increase them in a way, just to be able to change what I'm working on, for people to be able to see it in a different light. I have this now. And I could do this and make this spread, reduce the size. There are different ways that you can interpret a design or that you can design something. It doesn't have to be just one way. You can get whatever you want to do in different ways. You don't have to stick to just one way of doing things. Different ways to get whatever you need to get. You don't have to stick to one thing. Now imagine this now. You could see that in as much as I try to put the two text in different uh, uh, sizes, font sizes, I try my best to make sure that I align the text and always make sure that there's a proper arrangement and then there's a balance to my design and to my layout. So just watch this. I'm trying to get a balance to this layout. And immediately you could see that we have something very simple and something very classic and something that we can work with. You can send this to somebody and then you can use this as probably as your avatar on your WhatsApp or something, which you can start with. There's joy in working like this, and then there's joy in always trying to do the little things first. I'm trying to be able to make you conversant with the little things and to make you to be able to probably love working with your tool at first before you jump into the real life expectations of graphic design. But basically like this, you could see that the whole outlay, the whole outline, the whole canvas is, it seems the message is clear. The major thing I want people to see is love, and then I have a sub that I want them to also read, which is my job. So you see, I'm not putting major emphasis on my job, but that love, I'm putting a serious emphasis on it, which shows my emotion and my passion about my job also. Let me do this in another way, and then let us see how we can also quickly rearrange this. So let me put this off so I can decide to make this very big. Where's my guide? I have my guide back. So if I want to align everything that I've written in the center, I select all by clicking and dragging through all. Um, select all, and then I can center align them, so which means that they are all aligned in the center. I can have something like this, and because I have a small font type here, I could just try to play here and create like a difference, like to be able to create like a balance in this design. Trying to create like a balance in this design. So imagine this. This is another way to also write I love my job. Do you understand? Which is very clean and very clear, and also it's another form of using typography to do whatever you want to do. Typography is so wide, you can play with it, you can do in as much as whatever you want to do with it. It's so beautiful. Okay, now let me show you another trick that you can do with the type tool. You could write your text in different ways. Okay, imagine I want to write my text vertically. I can just click down on the type tool and click on vertical type, and I can say beautiful. I can have this beautiful, and imagine I want to probably break this and make this in a very fun way. I can come and break this up and say I could also do my typography like this and say this is how I want to speak to people. And say beautiful. Typography is wide, is interesting, is large. I don't know what you cannot do with typography. I'm sure you've seen a lot of shirts that they probably designed like this. It's just pure use of typography and pure use of balance. You see the way I'm trying to balance the design. I had the typography in a square format, and I'm trying to balance the design with the sphere or with a circle. Do you understand? In a way to be able to balance your design for it to be effective, for it to communicate to everybody well, is what we are doing presently. So imagine I have this. It automatically it reads already and says beautiful. There's nobody that's going to see this and not going to probably appreciate the beauty or the art that has gone through it. And then remember when I said always work with guide, you see that throughout whatever I'm doing in this canvas, I don't go outside of the guide, outside of this guide. I don't go outside of it. I'm always probably in the middle, always probably in the middle or at the edge. And when I'm at the edge, I'm either here or here. I don't go outside. I always try my best to stay within my frame, within what I'm working with, within my guides. So this is where we are with this typography. I think there's one other thing I need to make you understand about hierarchy of typography. Like imagine you have um, a head copy and a body copy. So you can have your head copy like this. A head copy could be very big, and you could have a body copy most times your head copy needs to be different from your body copy. Your head copy, most times you need to lay it out and let people know that your head copy is your head copy. Most times it's always bolder, it's always in capital letters, or it's always in caps, or it's always the weight is always heavier than the body copy. So most times you see a head copy like this, and then that's hierarchy, and then you see the body copy that has just a very light weight. See a body copy that has a very light weight. This is most times what we see. Then you can also have a sub body copy. You have a head copy, you have a body copy. I don't want it to be in caps, and then I also want to space it out a bit. You have a body copy, and then you also have a sub body copy. You also have a sub body copy, and the sub body copy too. Sometimes you can have a heavier font type, but most times it's always good for it to be smaller than the head copy. So you most times you always reduce the font size. So this is just the basic hierarchy of how uh, fonts or how typography is being used. And by the time you do this, you see I need to make corrections on this. Here I change the font size. Here I'm changing the space from the letter heading, the leading text, and the one under, changing the text. So I probably pick auto. I need to reduce the font size also more for people to understand that this is a sub body copy. So imagine you have this, you have a head copy, you have a body copy, you have your sub body copy. Now you see this and think that this design is finished. No, it's not finished. Why? Because um, merely looking at this, if I control H to hide, merely looking at this, yes, this reads well, and you can see immediately the first thing your eyes reads or the consumer sees is the head copy. Next is seeing the body copy, and then the last thing the consumer is seeing is the sub body copy, the Lorem Ipsum, and then the other copies. So now if you want to really align your canvas or your text well, best thing for you to do is you see that okay, you have a plain canvas, you have a very plain canvas that is text heavy, and then you are playing with negative space. If you don't have any other thing on the right or on the left, like an image or like an icon of something on the right or on the left, best things for you to always do is to align your text to the center. I always say align your text to the center. So you see this sub body copy, I can go to the paragraph settings and align it to the center. And then what I need to do also, I need to be able to justify the text to the center. You can see the body copy also. I need to also align it to the center, and then I can do that in paragraph, and the head copy I can also align it to the center in paragraph. And imagine me doing this like this. I've center aligned everything, putting everything in the center, and boom, and we have it. It's nothing that reads more than this. I think I need to reduce this body copy a bit for hierarchy. Yeah, and then always, most times it's always advisable when you are designing with typography, always learn to break your text. Always break your text. That will help you to be able to design better. That helps you to be able to design better. um for me to be able to balance this, I can leave it like this and say okay, this is how I need to communicate to people, and I can as well say okay, I need to maybe add a little balance to my design and say maybe I want to add like a circle here to 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 probably just give a different feel about what this is. You see, I can have a circle, I can reduce the size of the circle. Design is whatever you make it, and you don't have to be scared to try. You don't have to be scared. You can see that I'm aligning these things. I can give the same space in between, distribute the space in between them horizontally, and then you see what I'm doing. I'm working and aligning everything that I'm doing. You could see this is, we've designed something already. This is, there's no well learned or well trained graphic designer that would see your message like this and will not appreciate that you tried your best to make the design as simple and as effective, and you passed your message so sharp and so concise. Very simple. This is as simple as it is. And you could see here we talked about using a lot of negative space, uh, using negative space, making your consumer understand what your message that you're sharing. Look at, we have the head copy, we have the body copy, and then we have the sub body copy. You can see everything is clean and well designed. This is ways to, and I bet you this is the best secret that you can get. This is a way for you to be able to write, or for you to be able to put typography on whatever creatives that you're working on. Always understand the rule. Your head copy is always bigger. Your body copy is always a little bit lesser than the head copy, and then your sub body copy is the ones that are always very very small, because the head copy is what you need people to be able to grasp and catch immediately, and then your body copy is just a follow-up to it, and then your sub body copy is people want to understand in details, so they are already interested in the material, so they can as well take their time to read everything that you've written in your sub body copy, so you don't have to make a sub body copy very big and everywhere in the open. Do you understand that? And then this, you see, we've had it in this way. We can also have this in this way. Since we have this circles to play with, let me go back to, let me use my Control Alt H to Control H to bring back my guide. I can click on this and this, and go to paragraph and align it to the side. Go to this also and align it to the left. So look at this. The reason why I'm doing this is because already I have this to compensate and to balance my design. I have this to balance my design. That is why I can do this like this. So imagine me having this like this, and I justify this to the right, a bit to the left. Imagine me having this. Just imagine. And then I have this, this is, and then I have this. I can just put this here. I can't align everything to the left again. No, I have to make sure that I align this here to be able to give my design a balance. So imagine you see something like this. Let me Control H for you to see. You see that I played with my guides, and I made sure that I was not bleeding outside of my guide, and I made sure that I am aligning my text to the left, and you could see how easy I worked with it, and I tried to distinct whatever I was doing. So also I can decide to also want to align my typography and my text to the right, which is not bad. Also I can align it to the right. I can put this and make it to the right. And I can bring this also and align it to the right. justify it, right? uh, what I need to do, I take this, bring it here, and voila, I have everything. I have a very balanced design, which is for after you understand the basics and you understand psychology and you understand emotions and how to work with these things are not hard again. You see how immediately I worked with this, and then always take into consideration. You see where we have the text that you have iPhones. When you're working with graphic design, when you have iPhones, always make sure that you try as much as possible to not have these iPhones. You try as much as possible not to have these iPhones. So you situate your text in this kind of manner. Okay, I think I need to take this down. Okay, I think I need to rearrange this. Okay, I think for this I don't have to justify this like this. Let me just do this way. Yeah, so I've aligned it now. And most times this always causes some issues because you are trying your best as much as possible not to you're trying your best as much as possible to be able to balance your design and your typography and not to allow anything to just bleed out or I think that this should go. Yeah, this works better like this. Yeah, this works better like this. Let me this works better like this. Yes, and then we see that we are too close to the bottom part of the design, so I need to be able to move my typography up a bit, and then you see Ctrl H. Here we have something clear and concise, and this is as far as I can tell you what a little bit of introduction of typography is. And going forward, when we start working on a lot of creatives with briefs that we have to work with copy, then you'll be able to understand what I was talking about, typography and how to use text and hierarchy of text and arrangement of text. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next class.